we've got a fun little creative ITX project I'm working on. This system, it's an older i7 on DDR3, but it's definitely worth using if you've got it in hand. It was in a big old ugly tower that was way too big for this system. So I found an ITX case, but ITX cases that are like kind of mainstream and readily available don't have all the features I like. So what I did was I got an affordable ITX case, and we're going to do some modifications to it to make it a lot different. First of all, we'll get rid of this big drive bay. We're not going to use a disk drive. This has a nice intake and vent on the other side. Now you could fit a shorty graphics card like half height, but instead I'm going to take a ribbon cable, flip this baby around, and actually mount it that way. It will fit once that cooler's off. It'll be on a ribbon cable, and there's vents along here, so that'll get direct intake. This is a 1050 Ti. As far as cooling, obviously this won't fit, so I'm going to modify the case to take a radiator right here. And this will actually be smaller and perform better than what's on there. So you get a lot more out of that i7, which is actually a K SKU. Basically the conclusion of most of the custom work for this case. Well, I don't know about that, but the hard part's over. We've got some aluminum, some remounted drive cages, this funky dunk situation in the back where we remove the shorty bars and just put one big bar for a full-size card, and then you've got a nice screen here for GPU breathing. So before I put it all together, let's just go over the chassis. This textured paint you see is truck bed liner. I'm just using to cover up all my scrappy metal work. Remember, this is an ITX budget build. I'm kind of just going all out on because I want to experiment. So quick review, everything cut up and changed. SSD mount has been moved here. I used motherboard standoffs to do that. Built out a little piece here to put the power supply here instead of here. And in this nice ventilated area, we're going to put a single radiator AIO, a 120 ITX motherboard. And then instead of the short height GPUs, I cut those all out, used a screen there, so we can have a vertical GPU mounted on a riser. And that'll get plenty of air from there. Even with this bracket I built with the foam, it'll still breathe nice there. It'll breathe nice there, so it really won't matter that it's covered here. Actually, the panel has venting too, so this is kind of just me updating an ITX case for the year 2019, the way a gamer would want it, the type of components they would want to put in. And then I replaced that ugly, they all have these various ugly front panels. I just went with a nice straight oak with a nice characteristic to it, and a single power button. Really simple, clean. Signed, sealed, delivered. Hello, and welcome to the special Home and Garden edition of Pollytech Computer Box. I was excited today to get back into the game. There's been a lot of obstacles, but press on we shall. And I've got a brand new custom chassis I modded to do the build, not just the outdoors. It's a beautiful day, so let's do it. This is a used build from a friend who wanted a really good upgrade. Put a better cooler on it. That's still going to fit within this form factor. We've got a GTX 1050 Ti, SFX power supply, running about 450 watts, way more than enough. SSD for the OS, and pretty much a modded chassis, everything about it. So let's start putting in some of the stuff that's actually going to be a little bit different first. So here we are in the shop now. Got some things to wire up, but all the components are in, so there she is. Just gotta tidy things up, and we'll go over it. Pretty much lost all my sunlight and battery and motivation all at once, so brought everything in, and poof, presto mezzo, here it is. A lot of extra cables to deal with, and they're just out of the way. You know, there's nothing really cosmetic going on here. You could see this through the vent, as well as this, and that's, in my opinion, plenty. I don't really see any of the wires, which there are plenty of. Let's throw on the side panel. I included these big plastic thumb screws I found in my collection. So that gives it a nice, you know, solid feel. And actually, 3 of them are really big, and this one's a little smaller to accommodate for the graphics card bracket. So that worked out. Nice, I don't know why the plastic ones felt nice. They just felt more premium. I'll show that everything's plugged in already. So let's just fire it up. One cool thing, the RGB fan can be seen in a really neat way through there. Antennas, you know, fit within the form factor. Very good to have Wi-Fi built into the board at this size. In here, let me see if I can get a little. I got the RGB control mounted right there. A few different ways it's actually locked in there, and there's an extra header so they can add another RGB device or fan or whatever they like. Graphics card, total custom mount. Cut out the small form factor slots. Now, we would have had to use this kind of card, except because I did that, we actually get a full-size card, and you can actually put something like, you know, 1660 or whatever in there down the road if you wanted. It's got a 450 watt power supply. It'll be good to go. Our CPU is boosting up to 3.7, 3.8, no problem. It's a 4th gen i7 K series. Great CPU to, you know, breathe new life into. Our little feet here don't really do nothing when it's standing up, but when it's sitting down, it keeps it nice and level and off the ground. One thing I could show with it flipped completely upside down is the Cooler Master logo flashing in there. It's kind of nice to see. You don't really see much wire clutter. You can also see some of the Cerberus design of the Asus card, but really, you know, it's going to be run like this. I think most of the time. He said he wants it vertical, and this will be the deal. Radiators breathing in from here and blows out either here naturally or can give the case air to hopefully give it some positive airflow. I had an extra fan on top, and it was super noisy and pretty much unnecessary. This has got an AIO now, so that should do the job, and that should be it. This is oak. It's not like a super fancy breed. I just got it locally. I looked for pieces with really nice defining characteristics, and it is finished with tung oil, which is a nice natural, it's less flammable than like linseed oil, which I don't want to use something flammable with an old computer. Nice natural tung oil. That's all you need to get a beautiful natural shine out of wood with, like, you know, no stain or nothing, just the tung oil. And if it dries out, you can just rub some more into it, no problem. So that's it. That's the Woodie. Here's the resurrected computer. It was in this monstrosity. You gave him pretty much everything but the graphics card. Was in this ugly MSI monster. Came with this ugly badge on it too. Look at how dirty and old this is. Oh my goodness. So we got rid of this and we turned it into this. I think that's a worthy upgrade.
You let me know when you're ready to go here. Have you just been recording this entire time? You turned red. Ooh, the cooler has got the RGB going on. The mouse hasn't powered on yet. It's gonna glow all pretty lights. It's gonna be good if it wants to work. We're gonna have to cut this, aren't we? This one's for you, Ollie. Look at that. The Cooler Master. It turns out pretty colors.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's got the nice. This is a nice finish.
It's really pretty.
I really like the wood. Oh, I should put a Pollytech background on there. Pollytech PC. There's a password. That's why we have to call him, isn't it?